My man, Mr.
Very high.
J. Miller. There he is, the god.
Leffen's going for numerous up airs. JMiller with the up smash destruction!
Absolute destruction. He does it. JMiller has beaten Leffen twice.
Wow.
Reverse 3-0. He pats his chest.
The whip.
I don't know.
Oh!
The limbs.
Destruction!
Liquidation. JMiller of the UK.
JMiller!
UK
First place.
international champion.
United Kingdom!
5.
These guys took it. Chic.
And this,
Wow.
the first UK international champion, and it's a Luigi main.
The Jesus. The everything. The Rose. The, what was it? Belmont on Smash. Luigi. Where the green cap at? I thought you'd have your green cap on.
Mate,
Have you got one?
I've got one, yeah.
I knew you'd have one.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just chilling.
Nice.
I don't have to worry about streaming for a little bit, so I can just relax, man. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Hot enough? It's pretty hot today.
It is hot today. I can't complain. I don't want it to get to the point where it's going to be unbearable for us, but for now, at least, we're not there. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's coming, right? You're gonna hear the
Yeah,
hottest summer
always.
of all time, the typical stuff every year.
Yeah, 2
in
months from
England.
now, yeah, it's going to be brutal, probably.
We're all gonna be sweating in those streams, man.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Right. Well, I've called you today for some advice, my friend,
Of course, shoot, man.
because I've recently got master rank on Street Fighter 6, which I'm very happy about on the cheat
Yeah.
box. I mean the hitbox. And I'm kind of not hard stuck because I haven't played much there, but there's a lot of things I kind of would like to ask a pro gamer about, so
Yeah,
I
I'll
can
consider
improve
myself pro, but I'll do my best to help, man.
improve my own gameplay. Oh, you're a legend, man. You definitely know the answers to my scrubby questions. So thanks
do my
for
best,
joining the
brother.
call. Yeah, the first thing was just anti-airs. Cammy has 3 anti-airs that
Yeah.
you know what they are. And sometimes I find myself so focused on the ground because there's so much going on the ground in this game with the long
is.
pokey limbs of Ken, Luke, Jury, Cammy, everyone, right? Kimberly, they're all poking you on the ground so you can't walk in that space. And then there's drive impacts that beat all your heavy pokes. And then there's drive rushes that you have to jab check or, medium punch. So then I'm focused so much on it because if I'm not, I always get caught. But because I'm so focused on it, people just jump in like a kangaroo all day and they're all over me, crossing me up. How do I deal with stopping that? Because people getting on you in this game is the worst, man. It's
is.
horrible. And you know that as a Dalsim player more than me.
Obviously, definitely. Yeah, it's okay. So, in my honest opinion, it's like this. As we know with fighting games, there's never one definitive answer to anything. Usually, there's always some kind of nuance or some kind of other element of something you have to consider. So, with the fact that we've got 3 jump-ins to talk about, right? With
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6, it's definitely a case of character versus character, but also player versus player. Just you have to assess what kind of player you're up against, as well as the character you're up against, right? So, in terms of establishing what is good for what situation, like I think we were like kind of briefly discussing beforehand why only DP alone wouldn't work out in the long term, especially for Cammy because of the fact that she side switches when she's doing her cannon like. So actually, no, is that the case
No,
for all of them?
only
with
the
OD as well?
EX. The
Just
EX
the
or
EX.
side
Okay,
swap.
to be fair then, if it's only OD where
Yeah.
you side switch, then it's not so bad. The only thing is you've got a lot more to gain when it comes to the back heavy kick. Back medium punch is really excellent for just putting someone in check and then also possibly getting to continue your offense if they decide to give you something. So if they, after you have done a back medium punch on someone, they have to land in front of you usually. They're either going to want to DP out of the situation, maybe parry, maybe do something rash, or kind of just be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do something. Like having that quick reset situation is nice, especially with such like I would have said that back medium punch is fairly consistent for Cammy. Would you say that?
It's pretty consistent, and she can do the little Ibuki style dash under. Sometimes it can be
Yeah.
ambiguous
Okay.
and then go low.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
there's fear of like, is he going to DP me as his feet touch the ground? And I find normally people just throw you when they land. They try and be safe.
Only going to one anti-air in response to everything can kind of diminish your returns.
Yeah.
And also the fact is you've got to consider your different jumping angles, the different jumps of characters, what they're doing, what they're maybe trying to bait. So ultimately relying on just the one anti-air is, I mean, if it's working out for you, there's no real downside, is there? But it's one of those things where you have to look at the long term of what it is you're trying to achieve. If you're looking to, you don't have to be like trying to play competitively or whatever, but you could also just be saying to yourself, I want to improve, and keeping all of your options in mind for anti-airs are always going to be important. So back heavy, you're going to get your full-on conversion where you're absolutely destroying someone in comparison to just the DP. Or if you think that the heavy kick is not the answer at the moment because the jumping angle is not correct, then you're like, okay, listen, let me just go for the quick consistent anti-air that's going to work out for me and there's no issues. Or if DP at the right angle is going to work out and you've got the correct situation, or you need that side switch at a particular time that's going to be most beneficial for you, then you go for that. So yeah, it's all just one of those things
do
where
that meterless as well, off back heavy kick. She can flip the other side. And I found before when I just did DPs though, like I was fine with anti-airs. Like, oh, he's jumping, DP. He's jumping, DP. But now where I'm thinking of the other layers, like, oh, I could do this, it's usually too late before I react to it now. That's kind of the trouble. I guess that's just playing a lot though, right?
Playing a lot and also playing
Focusing
against
on it
people
more.
who understand Cammy as well, like what she's going to try and do, what they have to watch out for. Obviously, dive kick with her. Well, I mean, we're talking about anti-airs at the moment, but yeah, there's just many things in which they're going to be thinking, okay, I should always try and test this person as well, even if Cammy does have strong anti-air options, right? So
yeah,
unless you're dying for the option that you're taking, it's like you probably at least will try at least a couple times in a round/set to see whether the person you're up against can do what they need to do to keep you in check, right? So
yeah,
it all
which
makes
can
sense.
be difficult in this game because it's first to two, isn't it? It's a best of three all the time.
Yeah.
So I've got like 2 rounds to figure it out, or I'm back in training mode waiting for the next person to turn up.
I will say this though. Yes, I know we're on the subject of anti-airs, and blocking is practically pretty bad in this game, but I would say that knowing when not to press if you have missed the anti-air opportunity is just as important as getting the right anti-air correctly as well.
Yeah.
Eating a counter hit combo because of the fact that you were so desperate to hit an anti-air like 90% of the time, I would say is going to really work against you as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't always focus on being correct with the fact that you needed to hit the anti-air because you saw that it left the ground. If you feel that there is a very high chance that you are late, do something else.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if you've seen this, but have you ever thought of, if someone's jumping in on you, have you ever just drive rush to the other side?
I've tried to dash, but I'm normally too late. I know that doesn't always work if it's a close jump or something, but no, I haven't tried that. I will try that though. You just get out of there,
yeah. If you feel it's an option for you that would get you out, then I think I have seen it a couple times where people are like, you know what, I just don't really want to deal with this. I'll spend my 0.5 meter just to maybe get out of the situation a little bit and then like, yeah, you have to still guess in some respect afterwards, but I mean, it can sometimes be better than going for a late anti-air if the
Right.
situation calls for it. It's not a situation I'm saying always look out for it, but with this game where there are so many things to look out for, it's just another option you have, and people will take it against you as well. So it's just you'll experience it for yourself, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think you'd have to be pretty quick with that as well, though.
You
Because of
would,
the
you
startup
would. It's definitely
frames
one of
and
those
then the
things
running
where I don't
frames.
believe you're reacting to it. It's more like this is a preemptive choice on top of it as well, to a
Okay.
degree.
They
But
just happened to jump when you were
yeah, if
going
they're
for
in
a
the
drive
air, then
rush
you're like,
jab
okay,
or
you know
something.
what? I don't know about all this. I'm just gonna get out of the situation and just do something else.
Okay.
And I think Cammy's drive rush isn't too bad. Like, I know it's not infamous, but it's like it's decent enough now.
Cammy's what, sorry?
Her drive rush dash. So her drive rush basically.
It's not that good, man, compared to like DJ and Jury
Yeah,
and
yeah,
others.
it's not
Like,
infamous. It's not like that. But
it's
I mean, in terms
okay,
of,
but
yeah,
yeah.
it gets the
It'd
job
probably
done.
get you out of there, but
Yeah.
getting in, she really needs to be in that spot where she would normally just dive kick to beat neutral,
Okay.
which is actually the next topic. If you want to move on, I think we covered
Go
that. The second topic is I've written down in capitals. I've written everything in capitals. Knowing what to do when you can't get past neutral. I have matches where I'm just like, I'm in that spot where you can't move forward or you're getting hit low, drive rush cancel. I'm in the corner now. You know, are you walking in because they can just keep hitting their low button and catch you? I'm not that good at punish counter and like whiff punishing yet.
Okay.
So I get to a spot where I just can't approach, or I'm getting duffed in the face. I try and dive kick, I get jabbed out of the air. I don't know how to get past there. I drive rush, it gets interrupted. I sweep, it gets blocked. I get comboed. Like, what do you do in those spots? I try and
so
random dash throw. It doesn't work. I get jab checked. Like,
To me, this is what the design of perfect parry is for, in my eyes. So offensively, it sounds as if you are hitting a wall. Someone seems to always be ready for whatever choice you're trying to make.
They're in
Spiral
my
arrow
mind.
probably as a spiral. Yeah, spiral arrow hasn't worked as a means to try and get in. Jump-ins are predictable enough. At that point, you kind of just have to assess the situation, walk backwards and forwards, throw out heavy kick, throw out forward heavy kick. Try and use hooligan feints. I know that I'm pretty sure you've been looking at hooligan feints in particular as well. You've got that.
I haven't been doing it from that spot though. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that could definitely. If I like walk back and then do it, I would be out of range of, and then whiff punish maybe.
Your crouching medium punch, from what I understand, is a good neutral option at times as well. But yeah, no, if you are dealing with someone who is a defensive wall, who is actually really putting you to your rights in terms of just like, no, I've got you, I'm checking you, then at that point, you're going to just have to be as patient with them until an opportunity presents itself, or the time starts running down to the point where you're forced to make some kind of choice. That isn't necessarily one that's going to get you ruined. But do you also attempt to use drive rush as a bait itself? So what I mean by that is, as you're walking backwards and forwards, when you're using drive rush, you don't always have to use drive rush as a means to actually get in. It's more like to try and get someone to do something for you as well.
No, I don't use it in that way. Unless I do a drive rush insta throw to like get it to, cancel
that's
quickly.
Option. As long as you'll have to kind of check whether that's going to get you punished as well, obviously. But I mean,
up close.
I mean, up close would be very that's why you got to maintain that distance enough. But it's like that's an option as well, to at least try and bait a reaction from someone. That doesn't mean you are going to get punished for it as well. Like, you want to ultimately be the one be like, no, you're gonna you want to super that, I'm gonna parry that, then I want to punish your cooldown on your super, or whatever that they're looking for, possibly, right? Or something with Cammy that I know that you have against fireballs. Drive rush, they do something silly and then you just clock them out of level 3. and it's like, yeah, okay, that's GG.
Okay.
But I mean, I think you know how potent your level 3 is against
Yeah.
fighters in general. So
Especially
there's
on that hitbox, man. You can
Yeah.
you can snap them out really quick if you do there's some SOCD jump type tech where you use jump to actually go forwards, and then you can like do it instantly with 2 hands.
Yep.
She has got broken level 3. Yeah.
Definitely,
And the
believe me, I
spinning
know.
knuckle.
Yeah.
That can beat if they're a projectile character and if they're throwing it.
Or if you just want to really be cheeky and you just want to throw out EX Knuckle because it crosses up for whatever reason that they decide
Yeah,
to give
up
that to,
close. You have to be
people,
next to them for it to actually cross up. Yeah.
Yeah, if
But
you really
getting
want to
next
test
to them
people.
is sometimes the problem. I do like to crouch throw out the medium, like you mentioned earlier, because you can pre-buff a drill off it. You
Yeah.
can just throw it out and do a drill, and it only comes out if they get hit. So as long as you're out of their block range, you'll never accidentally hit their block and drill.
Yeah.
But sometimes they ain't pushing, man. I've ran into you know that GG Hallebell player from Germany.
Yeah.
I
that's
ran
the good
into
player,
him
right?
a few times in ranked, and he ain't pushing nothing, man. He's just
Yeah.
standing there like, I know you're gonna choke, Bill, and I sweep and bang, bang, bang. He's smashing me across the. Well, he's playing Ed at the moment. I'm now in the corner dying. So yeah, like against good people in the neutral, that is like really difficult. And I know Cammy kind of has the advantage because she can spin through the projectile. She can pre-buff a drill off normals, and she can dive kick in. But I still find those spots where I can't seem to get this guy, man. I just can't get that one knockdown to start.
It's gonna be difficult because I mean, once at least the people that you are gonna be up against understand Kemi and what they're gonna
Yeah.
have to do, they're gonna be on point, knowing full well that if they're not,
Excuse me.
they're gonna pay the price with their life. So
Mm.
that's just one of those things where you do
Excuse
have
me.
to have the ability to maintain your own neutral, because it's not always going to be a case of I get to run my offense, you die, unless you're up against a character with no reversal. Then you get to have fun. But
Yeah, then I just go
um,
mental on them. Yeah.
yeah, but if it's not as simple as that, then yeah, it's a mixture of knowing what it is you need to do. You're going to have to also watch prime examples of the matchup at high level to see what it is that they do both in neutral, on defense, quote unquote, and then also what you do to establish your strengths in aggressive play and offense, right?
Yeah, I do that anyway. I watch high level replays and my own and just write like everything to look at. I end up though getting down the rabbit hole and I just have like pages and pages and pages of stuff. But then you end up just like not improving at anything because
Yeah,
there's
that's the
too
thing.
much to
So
look
I
at.
will definitely say this. Theory crafting is important to a degree. At the same time, you definitely run the risk of theory crafting too much for one, then also overcomplicating things that don't need overcomplicating.
Yeah,
And in this game, the mental stack is already high enough as is.
it's
You
so
do
high
not
in
need
this
to.
game too.
You do not need to mentally destroy yourself and fry yourself before the opponent's already done that for you. You can't really afford to, and I'm saying this as a Dowson, right? Like it's
Yeah,
one of those things where, okay, this is my reality, right? On defense on wake up, right?
Mm.
Do I parry? Sometimes yes. Do I run the risk of being throw looped? Absolutely. Throws against Dalsim are always going to be strong because I either have to tech, try and do some kind of dumb wake up drill, or
Has he
if
got that
I've got
option?
level 2.
He can do the insta jump drill, or is it janky?
I've seen it. I don't know how real it is, but at the same time, that also can get absolutely railroaded as well. So that's not.
Yeah.
It's not a fun option, but it's an option I see taken here and there. But sometimes you feel like you need to do it, and I get it because if we do at least get that, then we get a counter hit. At least we get to do a little something. But again, it's a hard read pretty much at that point. So it's like, what do you do?
Does he
And
have
then on top of everything
backdash
else,
into like
yeah,
jab
everyone's got
punish? They
backdash,
can all
but the
do that.
trouble
Okay.
is, yeah, if they wake up with the button, you're in the corner.
If it's
Well,
a
you can never really imagine
meaty,
what's gonna happen.
goodbye. But yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
obviously you've got drive reversal as well, and that's -8. So again, you kind of just have to make a choice, be happy enough with it regardless of the situation. If you felt it was the right call and it just got punished, then you gotta just re-roll. Like you just gotta hope that you live to tell the tale, like in one way or the other. But I mean, it is that simple. Okay, did I make the right read? Yes. Okay, cool. We can continue. I didn't make the right read. Okay, well, it's either I'm going to die slowly or I'm going to die pretty quickly, depending on the situation at hand. So, do I want to die quickly or do I want to try and make it at least a little bit longer / difficult, and then hopefully maybe get out of a bad situation? But the one thing you can't really do in these modern fighting games really is be paralyzed by your own decision making in terms of what happened here next, because we
Yeah,
don't have
which
that
is
luxury anymore. We don't have that
yeah.
luxury. You die for that now. You really do. It's just across all games. I mean, it's always been this way, but I mean, one way or another, it's gotten better. It's gotten worse. So indecisiveness is just gonna kill you. This is how it is.
Yeah, some games you could just get random hits which made up like half of the damage of a round, but in this game it's like guess wrong, there's half the damage of the round. Like it's all tied into that combo basically. There are a few hits in the neutral I find, like poking out a button here and there, but most of it just comes down to guessing wrong, doesn't it, in the corner? Once they've got the mix up anyway.
Yeah.
So what else have I got on this list today? I've got some stuff that I don't even know if it's worth asking. Like, I don't know how to use Cami Sweep. I hear everyone say how good it is. It's 9 frames, which is fast. But I don't know like how to use it. You use it up close, you die. You use it at range, it gets blocked, you die. It whiffs,
What's
you
the
die.
punish when you are using it up close? So like, up to what degree
It's
can it be
huge.
punished?
Like they're just full comboing you. But if you use it at range, even if it whiffs, they can like punish counter you, and so I don't really get what the point
I'm not
is.
sure then.
It can't be
So
cancelled.
it's not going to be the same levels of, say, a Street Fighter 4, where obviously it's hard knockdown and stuff like that. So what have you seen that Cammy receives from getting the hard knockdown to make that worth
I
it?
think she might be able to like dash and just force lights on them as they get up or something like that. I'd have to look into it more, but in the neutral, it's done nothing for me other than kill me. So I'm obviously using
Then I would
it
say
wrong. Like,
let go of that for now and
just get
maybe
rid of it
swap that
for
button
now.
out with standing heavy kick. And apparently forward heavy kick for you is meant to be fairly decent. Apparently it's a button that's undervalued.
It's undervalued. It's really good at actually baiting drive rushes. Like at the start of a round, Jamie's like to do the drive rush heavy punch because
Yeah, it's really good.
the first bits miss and then the last bit hits, which is the one he wants. But if Cammy does forward heavy kick, she actually does like a Michael Jackson moonwalk and then goes forwards, which is really funny against Jamie because he'll just miss and get booted in the face. Like, and she can cancel to level 3, which would look really funny in a pro match. I hope I see that someone. But yeah, I guess I just drop the sweep for now and watch some more VODs and see it get used.
Yeah, I'd say that for now. So you don't have to abandon the idea altogether just yet, but at least until you establish why it's meant to be good, keep it in the back for now. Especially if it's getting you full comboed into get a full combo in this game. Ugh, yuck.
Yeah,
So
it just
leave it
ends
be.
everything. Especially that the game's so tied into the meter.
Yeah.
Like that drive meter is everything in this game. That you're just being put into situations that's going to eat away at it. If you're blocking, if you parry, you get throw, you lose a bar. If you drive impact, you get counter DI'd. Like everything in this game, once you get the knockdown, is about getting rid of that meter, I feel like.
It is. Oh, wait, so you know how we were talking about perfect parry earlier?
Yeah.
Would you say you use perfect parry as a defense mechanic at all?
I find waking up with it doesn't normally work for me unless I know this guy only has one pressure tool. Like with Cammy, I get the drill, I dash, I crouch heavy punch because it's plus on block. So people that know that, they just perfect parry it on wake up all the time. So then I have to stop doing it and go like a low light kick or a throw or whatever. So I use it more in strings that I know people want to do. Like Jury wants to do stand medium punch into crouch medium punch, and I know that's a frame trap because she wants to do medium into her Fuha charge kick.
Yeah,
so during the two mediums, I'll always try and like perfect parry the second one. So if it's a string that I know isn't true, I'll try and do it. But outside of that, I don't like it on wake up. It doesn't really do much for me unless I know that they're doing something. But even if they're jumping in and you think, oh, he's going to hit a button, they just go empty jump and throw the parry.
Yeah, so it's true.
I don't find good spots in general to use it other than randomly in neutral at range or during a string.
No, that all makes sense because here's the thing: like you have that option, so you've got a reversal, you have the other conventional ways of using defense. You don't really have to resort to that unless you are so sure that they're pressing buttons on no wake up that it's worth it to do that, and then also drive rush them back to try and take the meter back from you or something like that. But yeah, if you don't have to wake up parry, then you don't need to, because obviously it's such a gamble ultimately, because getting punished counter hit as a throw is still 2,000 damage. It's not something you want to embrace or accept if you don't have to. So no, completely fair and logical reasoning behind that.
This is another. We could go into this from here because it kind of ties in. I've defensively mindfuck myself completely. Do I wake up, parry, block, jump? What do I do? My defense is terrible. When someone's on me and they're pressuring, I don't know what to do. I have worked on this a bit recently, like during a drive rush. Sometimes you mentioned earlier the Dalsim drill that beats the throw. Cammy can do it with dive kick. But if they don't do it and they're going meaty, you're suddenly like you're eating a lot of damage. Yeah. So defensively, I don't know what to do. The worst case I've had it was I was defending against, I don't know what Ed it was. It was a modern Ed. And he was putting me through these loops with the little flick move. Dude, my bar was just going down. Like, I didn't know when to push a button, when to reversal. Like, no idea sometimes when I'm defending. Do I just throw? Oh, they shimmied. I got hit. Like, I feel like this whole game is one big triangle of flipping coins sometimes.
Because it is.
You literally can't react to the shimmy. It's either a throw, strike, or a shimmy, and you chose to throw, and he chose to walk back and duff you in the face.
I think you've ultimately answered your own question, if I'm honest with you. So the thing about this game defensively is it's difficult, and I feel it's almost by design. In terms of, obviously, knowledge is power, in terms of against certain strong strings that are either putting you into a repetitive spot or just putting you in a scenario where you're just having to just eat your opponent's offense on a repetitive,
which is what I do all the time. I just eat that
all
shit
I can
all
really
day,
say
man.
at that point is you attempt to not panic, and again, attempt is the key word here. Like you attempt to do what you feel is right at the time, and if you are getting destroyed by something that you can tell is either a set play or something that you know you're going to need to practice against, then that's all you can really do. But defense in this game is really hard because, again, it can devolve to wake up, perfect parry just to offset someone's offense, or you attempt to parry you attempt to throw. And if you got it right, you got it right, great. But if you got it wrong, you're eating a shimmy, and you're eating a combo, and you're gonna die. So there is no one scenario here. There never is with fighting games in general.
No.
Otherwise, the defense would be great, right? But
everything's beatable as well. Like if they did shimmy and you woke up with crouch medium kick, they're walking back into your crouch medium kick, and now they're dead. It is just
Yeah.
one coin toss. But the trouble is the matches are so short. It's a first to two. Like, there's so hard to get this data of what I should do. Like, this guy always push buttons, then I want to block and level one him during the frame trap. I see that in pro matches all the time. Like, men at RD's in the corner, he blocks one hit and he just level ones through their buttons.
It's great
But
for if you do
online,
have that option.
you're just you don't have it. Only level 3, right? Like
level 2, level 3,
Oh.
big spenders of such a basic thing to be able to do. But,
yeah, I just
but
never
no,
know
that's
on
exactly
defense.
it. It's
Like,
knowing
you don't
how
have
you
time to
can
learn.
possibly challenge it, right? So it's just you make a choice and you live with it, and then if it doesn't work out, you review your footage and see what it is that maybe you could have done. But I think the biggest thing I'm going to tell you on this occasion is, and trust me, this is hard because I still can't accept it, or I beat myself about it too, is try not to beat yourself up about it. Like, if you do that to yourself, this game is going to absolutely just take the fun away. Like, it won't work out for you a long time.
Yeah.
So all you can realistically do is acknowledge the situation you're now in. Try and get yourself out there with various options. You know what your options are already at this point, so it's just...
It does feel like I'm going to DP. Oh, it was a bait he went for. Like, oh well, there was nothing I could have done. Like, if it wasn't a bait, it would have worked, you know? Like, I do feel like you just got to pick one. If it was a best of 10 though, like, then you could make more informed reads, I feel like, but you don't get much time to do it because, like, it's combo 1, combo 2, combo 3, we're on the next round. Which was like, I guessed wrong twice, we're on the next round. So
that's general stuff. Like, these games require you to either just have the composure and the mentality of someone who's like, okay, listen, it didn't work out. I'm going to leave that to one side, brush it past, and move on really quickly. It's all you can do, because the more you lament on what you didn't get correctly, the more likely you are to play worse. You can't afford that in a game like this. So all you can really do, realistically, in my opinion, is obviously get your own offense in there if you can help it. But if you are on the back foot, like what we're actually talking about, then it's just one of those things where you have to try and make the best informed decisions for yourself and roll with the punches, because it's all you've really got. Holding parry during a elongated string, holding a parry versus drive rush in the corner. There's so many different things that I can regurgitate or talk about, but it's one of those things where it's just like you just have to play a good amount, watch an awful lot just to experience the endless scenarios that you're going to be put into from character to character, and then go from there. Because there's, with this answer, it's so loaded because there's just too many things you can do, there's too many things you can't do, and then you just have to be like, okay, what was the best thing I could have done at this moment in time, in my opinion, right here, right now? And that's it. Because there really is not something that I can tell you where I think, you know what, Bill? This will work out for you 100% of the time.
There's
this
no
will work out
for everyone.
It just doesn't work that way. And I feel like I'd be lying to you or anyone if I ever tried to tell you that offense or defense is as simple as do this, you win. I mean, offense can be that simple, but when you're up against someone who does really know how to do both exceptionally, then it can feel like, okay, do I just stand here for a while? Do we just go for neutral and then I wait for something because I want to attack your drive meter? And there's so much to it. Like, there's times where matches can be pretty cagey. They can be pretty cagey, more cagey than you think they would be. Like, we understand how the regular flow of this game can be, which is, oh, okay, well, 70 seconds into a match. Well, sorry, no, like 20 seconds into a match, someone's dead already. Or it
Yeah.
can be one of those matches where things are actually pretty drawn out. It's like, hold on, no, I'm waiting for you to throw up. No, I'm waiting for you to do something. I'm waiting for you to hang yourself. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's so many different scenarios where it's just, yeah, defense in this game is hard and by design.
I found
Like
that
blocking.
sorry, from
That's good.
bronze to platinum, it's like no one knows how to defend at all. But then in diamond, and someone in the channel mentioned this, everyone just holds back the whole round. Like they're literally moonwalking to the wall, and you're thinking, that's really bad because you're putting yourself in the corner. But in diamond, like, I don't know where the mindset changes. They're kind of, is the strategy kind of works because they're getting the space for you to walk in and they can land their crouch medium and do a combo because you're like technically walking into them as soon as they stop going backwards, which was catching me because I was thinking I'll walk you down then if you're going back, but they were just sticking out that medium and getting me. So I ended up just like walking in and crouch blocking until they were fully in the corner.
People doing stuff like that,
But they're using the clock. No one uses the clock up until diamond, and then at master they use it a bit more. But
I would always accept if people decided to walk themselves into the corner.
Definitely, that's what I would.
That sounds magical to me.
Yeah, like please
even
walk
back in
yourself
Diamond,
to
I'm
the
like,
wall.
yeah, I'm like, that
why are
doesn't
you
sound,
doing
does not sound like my life at all. But then again, of course, I'm playing Sim, so that's they can't afford to do that with him. But
or anyone.
I mean,
the corners just
it can't. It shouldn't be. That's why it's surprising to hear that.
Yeah.
But
it was working at first because I was walking into it, but now you just walk and crouch block. Like let them take their own distance away. And then like use it against them because they're gonna want to jump out. They almost
they're gonna want to jump out, or you just have the ability now to anti them when they want to jump out, when they want to do certain things. Like you never walk yourself into corner. It seems so weird. It really does.
Because it was working. Because I was like walking into them and they were just crouch medium kick, drive rush cancel, GG, and then they would walk back and get their meter back. But then I kind of changed the strategy and just walked them down and blocked just outside of the range.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Blocking in this game obviously is bad because of the fact that you lose so much drive gauge. Sorry.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was okay because like the pressure, they're kind of each hit you block pushes them away, right? So there's only so many buttons they can hit before they're out of range and have to get in again.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't say
cancel,
you have to always do something immediately, but I mean at the same time, it's not like the clock on your drive isn't ticking. You're going to die the longer you block. The fact is, you're going to be put into burnout, and then burnout for the defender. If someone has meter in terms of they still have their drive gauge and they have their super meter, the chip out is realistic. As well as the fact that you have to now deal with drive impact being such a strong option if they have got the correct, like not lock sequence, but the correct scenario to achieve their DI, and there'll be nothing you can do about it. That scenario in this game is powerful. Power is the same word. It's just powerful. It's ridiculous. To the point where whether I like this game or not can be determined down to scenarios like that, where it's like, listen, checkmate, you're dead. And it's like, okay, well, did you have meter to stop the DI? Good. Okay, all right, you can do something. Oh, you don't? That's a shame, man. Well, GG's. So, yeah.
There's also the delay on the recharge. Like every time you block, I think I timed it 2 seconds before it even starts charging again. So with Cammy, I like to flick out the heavy kick because it takes like one whole bar away if they block it. So you just flick one out. Yeah, you flick one out, they block it, and you think, all right, 2 seconds, you're not charging for 2 seconds. If I hit another one, that's 2 bars gone. But then they'll DI, but you're baiting that as well, right? You'll flick out a medium kick and then counter DI. So it's a really good button. Punish counter, it gets a big old knockdown. block, it's -1 bar. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really, is that the same as a Honda headbutt?
Yeah,
It's really,
on a
really
heavy kick. It's ridiculous.
flipping. I knew it was good, but
Yeah, that thing
if
is
that's the
just
case,
that's the
then I don't
needle,
really get
man.
why
That's the
it's not.
needle that kick. That thing's
Yeah, I'm not
deadly.
sure. I'm not sure why I don't see it more often. If it's really that good for drive gauge to take it
Yeah,
away
it
from
burns
people.
it down, man.
Bloody
But
hell.
normally I push it twice and just get DI'd on the second one, so I've had to calm
Okay.
down a little bit. Just flick
So I
one
guess it's the
out and
only
walk
reason I can think
around.
that it's
Flick another
you
one.
got to still be selective about it. Is it startup?
Yeah, and the
Okay.
recovery. Like if like most heavies in the game that aren't cancelable, they'll just get DI'd if you do 2 in a row. Sometimes, if they read that you like to spam it constantly, they'll just DI it.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Well, I think that's pretty much everything I had to ask. There was one more about specific matchups, like sometimes when I have a problem versus, say, Blanca's role or something, I will go in the lab and record it. And
Question:
yeah,
what do you do versus EX bankable?
the EX ball.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a difference?
Yes, frame data wise, in terms
Oh.
of what your answer should be. So
You can't
yeah.
jump back, heavy punch it, or light kick it, or something.
So
That beats the heavy.
so
ball.
with EX bankable, your choices vary because like he's not as it's not basic basically. So I can't remember whether he is plus afterwards, but it's one of those things where you have to look at what they do. So I think what at least what the low level will do is they'll jump at you afterwards, and if you press something, you're in trouble. But
Right.
yeah, it's one of those things where they recover before you do. So if you challenge like an idiot, then you get punished for it. But
Okay.
um,
What happens if you just block it? Is it just -1 bar like
if you
normal?
block it,
Does he flip
it
off?
just resets back to neutral for the most part. But I
Okay.
mean, they get to act sooner before you do, I believe, which is not the fun. But that's the part where you want to avoid that because the more they get to do that kind of thing, then you're in danger. So like, there's something that I had with that, and then I've kind of forgotten where I was going to go with it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like I think with EX Ball in particular on block, if you try and do something too soon, they will laugh at you and destroy your life for it. So
Okay.
that was what I wanted to
I'm going to
basically.
look at that tonight actually and
yeah.
find out. But the normal ball, I really do 3 options. One is like
Okay.
when he's flying across the screen, if he's halfway, you can then jump back and heavy punch him. It'll put her in the position for it. Or you just jump back light kick, which hits at any range to be safe. That's what I normally do.
Okay.
Her other option is jump throw, which is kind of funny. She can yeet him out of the ball. Like
What neutral jump, right?
like back jump.
Okay.
Like any direction she jumps, she can just grab him and yeet him.
Nice.
And it's kind of awkward though, it's not guaranteed. And also she can interrupt it with like stand medium punch if if it's like fully out and he balls into it, it will like interrupt it. Or she can heavy punch into a heavy drill, which is kind of awkward.
Heavy punch seems
She can
like
do it into level 3 as well.
How
heavy
quick
punch.
is your heavy punch?
8 frames.
Okay, I can see
Pretty
why
good.
that'd be
Yeah.
decent.
So you can do that into level 3 as well, or just the drill for the knockdown.
It's just the only thing that makes me worry about that is how predictable that roll have to be for you to be able to really clock that.
Yeah, because they'll be doing light rolls and stuff and switching it up. But that's like basically her options that I found anyway. The other ones are more risky. But it's kind of the same as E-Honda's headbutt. I feel like the Blanca ball and the E-Honda headbutt are basically like the same move.
Yeah,
like I labbed both and I was like, right, I just do the same thing against both, but I don't think I could throw Honda out of the block, out of the headbutt. So yeah, that was like the last question I had. How do you know what to do in a matchup? Because like a pro player, let's say you're playing Luke, you play Luke, and now you're going to play a jury player, right? The pro player already knows, like, who the favor is in, right? In terms of the characters. Because it normally comes down to, like, oh, this button's better than their button, so I'm in the advantage. How do you know, matchup-wise, like, what the game plan is?
You only know through either looking at footage or your own experience. It's really that simple.
Right.
There's nothing else to it. Sincerely, you're never gonna know outright. Like even if let's just go from the very beginning, right? Top level wise, you know that Ken beats Dowson, for example, right?
Right.
But the fact is, you as the Ken player do not understand what the hell's going on versus Dowson.
No.
If the Dowson knows more than you do, what happens? Dowson's gonna win because
Yeah.
they know more than you do. So that's all knowledge that goes out the window. Like hearing what this is like versus what that's like is two different things. Ultimately, the players in question who are fighting against each other, they need to understand whether they understand what to do through watching. Need to try and implement their character's game plan to the best of their ability, go from there, and get the win because they did what they needed to do as optimally as they could afford to do at that particular time. That simple. Like there's nothing else to complicate.
Okay.
If you're watching two people who understand the matchup and one plays it better than the other, that person will probably win. If both of them are playing it at the same level when, human error hasn't become a factor, then the person playing the character who has the character matchup will likely win. It's just that simple. There's nothing else to it. But when it comes to just do you, the individual, understand what it is you're up against and how to combat said scenarios to make them work in your favor? Are you capable of working that into your match? That's it. That's what it falls down to. So the answer, although I've answered it, is it's just this simple. Do you understand, you the individual, do you understand what you need to do in this matchup to combat it? If you do, you do because of the fact that you've looked at evidence / footage of the matchup. So you have a general idea of what it is that you need to do in that matchup and why. And then you can actually execute all of those ideas. If you can't at this time, then you just simply do not know enough about the matchup, so you don't know how to play it yet, which is also fine. That's something that you learn with game time. And again, looking at things, because just playing matchups versus also looking at what's going on when you're outside of the game are two very different damn things.
Completely.
As we know.
The brain can't do both very well unless you've already learnt most of it. Like a top player would be able to, during the match, know what they need to change, little things here and there. Do you think watching certain players is better than other players then? Because I've been watching like Punk replays, right? Because he's one of the best camis. But I think when I'm watching them, like, was this on stream? Was it a dare? Was it a bet? Is he trolling? Is this how he would play in tournament?
I would say...
So I watch Mizuha now mostly because I know he's just Japanese. All that matters is winning. So he's going to be playing to win, right? So I've been watching him to, like, cut out the... maybe the stream hype aspect of a match or whatever. Is that the best thing to do, even though he might not be the best player?
I would say this. Whichever players you decide to watch, you need to assess what it is that they do and like to do and why. So with the little that I do watch, I know that Punk has a preference of not wanting to parry outright because that's just his personal choice, right?
True.
So that can work with him and against him because you're ultimately opting to say that I don't want to use a core mechanic of the game.
But
Obviously,
he's insane at
the
whiff
game.
punishing.
Yeah, so he's insane at doing other
wouldn't
things.
be
That's
like,
great.
yeah,
exactly.
That can carry him in replace
what I
of
would
that.
say is this. I would say look at various gameplay styles of your character, because quite frankly, you're not gonna emulate Punk. You're not gonna emulate whoever. You're not gonna do all of that because the fact is, you can watch them, but you're not looking to play like them, are you? Like you're still going to ultimately
'cause
be
you're-
your own individual.
Yeah, you're a different type
Yeah.
of player.
So what I would say to that is you watch multiple people, even people that may not necessarily be high in the books or whatever. Like if you can really find certain people who have a particular play style that is interesting, that makes kind of opens your mind, then I would say, yeah, look at those kind of people, and I'll give you a name later as well.
Okay.
But yeah, you're going to need to look at multiple people, multiple matchups, and just at least look at what your character can do. Because only looking through one player's eyes, you get a lot of their ideologies and a lot of their things, but unless you're looking to emulate their playstyle for whatever reason, then it's a very limited way at looking at your character. So,
And
I
it might
would
be
do
a
it that
style
way.
you're not good at as well.
That too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would honestly say that looking at various people, understanding what it is they're doing and why. The why part is very important, because
Yeah.
at least then you can try and, take elements of that gameplay for whatever reason that you find valuable, and then implement it into your own game plan, and then just try and go from there. That's what I think about that.
I find every player's quite significantly different as well. Like Punk with the whiff punishes and no parries. Mizuha does a lot of like sneaky reset, EX knuckle, flippy stuff. And then you got Kazunoko, who's just relentless pressure, like, because Mr. Yun, right? He just has to be in your face 24/7. That's just the type of player he is. So, as the original question was matchups, I guess you just pick a player and search that character and find the matchup you hate, right? If you hate Blanca, you just search some pro player of your character versus Blanca and try and like figure out what button they're using, what they're not using. You just got to put the time in, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch a pro match in a tourney, I'm like, wow, he hasn't used this button once in like 10 games. And then you see it in the final round and it worked because like just didn't expect it, or the button just wasn't good in the matchup except for that one situation. It's difficult to
intentionally
study,
keeping it
game.
behind, just for the just to basically kind of lure the opponent into the fact that I won't be using that. Like I remember, I think that was the first attempt between Menardi and I think it was Big Bird. I think they did the first attempt, as I said.
Oh,
And Mena pulled out the freaking EX grab after not really using it at all.
the
on
Blanca
final
little
game.
hop thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
He pulled that out at that time, and Mena got the win with that. It's like, okay, well,
You just would never expect
pretty
it,
crazy.
yeah, and it
because
worked.
he's not pulled it out in the entire set, or at
Wow,
least
the
if
very
he pulled
end.
it out, he pulled it out very few times, and then I believe he ended it with that. Or if he didn't end it with that exactly, he ended it. It was the final round. I remember that much, but it's just it's one of those things where you can choose to do that. Like you go to an option that you've been either purposely hiding, or you've just not been going to the point where the opponent has forgotten about it, and then you put it out at a time where it's like, you're not thinking about this, but I'm thinking about this because I haven't used it in a long time. I have this personal conviction that you are going to get hit by this because you have forgotten about this, and I was right. But you can also die by that sword too, so
True, yeah. They might just react to it even though they weren't thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for helping me with my questions, bro. I just realised I got to help you with something now, and with the editing program. I forgot that was the whole point. We rang each other today.
No worries, man.
All right, well, we'll get on with that then.
All right.
But yeah, thanks for helping me. I got it recorded.
Happy to help, bro. You know that.
Yeah, I'll probably upload it for the gang. I'm sure some people would want to see it to help with their gameplay. All right, thank you. Take care, man. GG's.